So these two are ones we've already been working with because we've been working with operations and rates of change that have the plus. We've also been working with operations and rates of change that have the minus. So those two are familiar. But there are a couple of new things that can happen that we haven't seen yet. And Grant kind of picked up on it when I mentioned the fact that these aren't the only directions you can draw a line. You can draw one going up, you can draw one going down. How else can you draw one?
Sideways.
Sideways. So that would be another one. That's our third flap. So let's draw a sideways line and see if we can figure out what the operation or what the rate of change is going to be like for a sideways line. What do we sometimes call sideways in math?
Linear.
Horizontal, yeah. So this is going to be a horizontal. So let's make a little graph and we'll put a horizontal line on it and see if we can use our strategy to figure out what the slope or the rate of change is going to be. So I'm going to draw a quick little graph here. You can too, you should, since you're putting yours in your notebook. And I'm just going to put a couple points here. I'll put one here and I'll put one here. Okay, so the first measurement that we need to get is how much we're going up and down. How much are we going up and down on this?
0.
Yeah, we're not. So we're going up 0, but are we making hops?
Yes.
Yeah, how many hops are we making?
About 2.
Let's test it out. 1,
Like 5.
2,
3.
3. So to get from there to there, we're making 3 hops. Okay, so I've got a 0 and I've got a 3. What goes on the top?
0.
0, because our y over x, right? What goes on the bottom?
3.
Or just write 0.
Right, because if you think of this as a fraction, that would be 0 thirds. And if I have no thirds, then I have
Nothing.
nothing. So somebody suggested 0 a minute ago, and they were right. A horizontal line has a rate of change, operation, or slope of 0.
So if you're asked, what's the point of doing the whole solving if you know it's going to be 0?
You'll get the answer to that in just a second. The point of this, the short answer, is so it doesn't get confused with the next one that we're going to do, because people get this one and the next one confused a lot. By showing you both, it'll help you to see the differences between them. Okay. Can I close this to label our flap? Okay. So we have a positive slope, a negative slope. We have a 0 slope, which looks like a horizontal line. And if you're somebody that gets horizontal and vertical confused, close the Chromebook. Close your Chromebook. Thank you. You can draw a picture to help you remember. Okay. So we've got those 3. So let's think about this. We can have a line that goes up. We can have a line that goes down. We can have a line that goes horizontal.
Vertical.
Vertical.
That's the last direction we can go, which is our 4th flap.
Can we put vertical?
Vertical line gets really interesting, though. Well, we'll fill this in a minute because we're going to talk about what the slope's called before we fill the flap in.
I'm guessing it's called the vertical.
Okay. So let's do an example of a vertical line and use our strategy to see if we can figure out what a vertical line looks like.
Number over 0.
That's my range.
You're right. We're going to have to talk about what happens with that, though. Okay, I'm just going to make a quick vertical line here. Okay. Now I am going up, right? How much am I going up?
1,
3.
2, 3.
1, 2, 3, if you think hops, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but how many hops am I making on the x-axis?
0.
Yeah, 0, because I'm not moving over, right? So I'm going up 3, but I'm not making any hops. So what's my top number going to be?
3.
What's my bottom number going to be?
0.
Okay, so first of all, A minute ago, Kyle asked, well, why are we doing this? And I said to show you the difference. Do you see the difference between these?
Yeah, the
Okay.
first one's gonna be freeze.
Okay, so a lot of you guys are picking up on the fact that these can't both be 0 because they're not the same, right? This one's 0.
However,
I want to show you guys something to help you think about what happens here.
it's
If
gonna
you try to do this on a calculator, watch what happens.
45.
Is it gonna say, oh wait, you can't do divided by 0, I forgot about that.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder why.
So it is mathematically impossible to divide by 0.
So you can't solve.
Tomorrow, we'll talk about why. We don't quite have enough time to get into that today, but tomorrow you'll get an answer to why you cannot divide by 0. But for now, for today, we just need to know that we can't divide by 0. So if it's mathematically impossible to divide by 0, we can't do it. If we can't do it, we can't get an answer. So there's no number answer to this. That happens sometimes in math. If you're packing up, you need to get it back out because we're not done yet. We still have 5 minutes of class left. Well, a few minutes of class left. So in math, we would say if there's no number answer, undefined. So this slope is undefined.
like that.